Hello and welcome to our hands-on internationalization tutorial. Today I'll walk you through how to set up a new React project with Vite and TypeScript and integrate i18next with Locize for dynamic real-time translations. First, we create our React project using Vite with the React TS template. Then we install the basic dependencies and open the project in our IDE. Now we install i18next along with its essential packages. We also include a few helpers and tools as dev dependencies. Next, we dive into configuration. In our i18n.ts file, we initialize i18next by injecting all our i18next plugins. We enable language detection, set Locize as our backend, the Locize plugin for the in-context editor, the last use plugin, only during development, define English as our fallback language, pause some Locize options, and use the save missing feature only during development. Then, let's prepare our Locize options object and export the i18next instance. Remember to import this configuration in your main file, so that i18next is ready as soon as your app loads. Then we move over to Locize itself, register and log in. You will need to create a new Locize project. Choose your source language and the first target languages. Change the i18n format if necessary. Then navigate to the project settings, copy your project ID and use it as environment variable in an .env file. Also prepare an environment for development and copy your API key in that .env file. Optionally, define the version to be used during development and production. You can work with multiple versions in Locize. For now, we keep it simple and use just the latest version. Don't forget to use those environment variables in the i18next configuration. Another nice thing we can do is enable automatic translation. Optionally, also with AI services. As soon as a new source text is added to Locize, it will automatically try to translate it to your target languages. Okay, let's start to internationalize this simple text here. To do so, we have to import the use translation hook from React i18next and use it like this to get the T function. By default, i18next uses the translation namespace, but you can decide yourself how you want to group your i18n keys. For example, by page, or by component, or by topic. Use the T function. The first argument is the i18n key, and the optional second argument are options or a default value. Let's fix this import statement here. Now we internationalize this section here that includes this inner code element with the trans component. Just wrap it with the trans component of React i18next and define an i18n key. Since the translations are loaded asynchronously, we need to wrap our rendered app with a suspense component. Let's define also fallback that should be shown as long as the translations are not loaded. A nice image of an hourglass, for example. Execute npm run dev and check the output. Seems the missing keys have been detected and they've been added to Locize and automatically translated. Let's fix the text here and here. Also, this text can be optimized a bit. Save and refresh your website, and magically the text is updated. Since we've used the language detector plugin, by default we can switch the language by passing the LNG query parameter, but I like to create a dedicated language switcher instead. That default value is not necessary anymore. Let's put it here instead of this counter button. So let's define some languages to be shown. We loop through them, detect which is the current language, and render a button per each language. On click, we call the change language function of i18next and we use the native name. The i18n instance is also returned by the use translation hook. Yes, we can switch the language accordingly now, but we can fetch the languages directly from Locize. This way, we do not have to maintain an extra list in the code. In a useEffect block, we use the getLanguages function of our i18next backend and store the result in a dedicated state. Okay, the website looks still the same. To have type-safe translations during development, we have to prepare some scripts. The first script downloads the translations of our source language. The second script creates a TypeScript interface based on those translations. And the third script executes them in sequence and cleans up the download folder. When we run the third script, we can see a new types folder that includes the resources interface we can use in a new i18next type definitions file. Just import it, declare the i18next module and override the custom type options interface by passing those resources. Changing a key now detects if key is not existing, also for the threads component. For runtime execution, nothing has changed. And since we have a dynamic language switcher, we can test this immediately. What happens if we add a new language in Locize? To speed up the translation, we can bulk machine translate all untranslated segments, or also individual segments. Refreshing the website, magically the new language and its translations are shown. With the help of Locize Last Used plugin, we can detect unused i18n keys. To illustrate this, I've added a key that is not used in our React app. There's a dedicated filter for this, and we can also use the bulk delete action to remove these type of unused keys. The Locize plugin is another nice plugin that offers us the opportunity to edit the translation in an in-context editor. Just pass the in-context query parameter and the new pop-up window will show up. Log in, and you can select the i18n keys in the editor or on your website and edit them. Save the changes and immediately see the changes. That's just the first sneak peek. There's a lot more you can do with Locize. I encourage you to watch the demo video and try it yourself. Thank you for your attention and have fun internationalizing your software.